Chapter 4. Step into the civilization. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a huge pleasure that you have persevered until now. We are now going to cross the Great Wall, not just the physical one on the mountains, but also the Great Wall within your minds. We have already known Chinese and studied how to learn it. From this moment, consider yourself officially a master.
Ooh, Master Shifu!
Get ready for some serious inside Great Wall studies. It's a whole new world inside these walls, right? Alright, let's get to know the bearer of Chinese, which is the Chinese characters. These are the Chinese characters we see every day in our lives now, and these are the Chinese characters we rarely encounter these days. Please note, I said, rarely encounter, not, cannot encounter. Well, it seems that these characters and those characters are quite different. In fact, they are the same, all identical Chinese characters. And the meaning is Chinese. Perhaps we can say that it's just that they have a significant age difference. Behold! And watch this. How about that? Can you see anything?
I saw that these characters take 1,000 years to pop out a kid. I'm pretty sharp, you know. It's like these characters are having a millennium-long gestation period just to impress me.
Well,
Beat it.
we can see that the forms of these characters are constantly evolving, from over 3,000 years ago. The changes in the character forms have not been very significant since the Han Dynasty. For instance, during the Han Dynasty, the official standard character forms started to shift towards this style, making the others less common. Up to our current era, these ones, with minor differences, coexist in both official and informal usage. So, we can consider these different character forms popular in different eras as different fonts, just like there are many different fonts in English. To give an example, Chinese characters have different fonts, it's just that some of them look a bit more different than others. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. In everyday English writing, it might be like this. Or it might be like this. I don't think anyone would write it like this, right? Similarly, in everyday Chinese writing, it might be like this. Or it might be like this. No one would write it like this, trust me. So we could say that the different fonts are just for printings. It doesn't matter to the daily handwritings. Also, regarding Chinese calligraphy, we're not planning to discuss it because it's not the things that ordinary people can understand. Behold! There is an important issue that we need to discuss in detail, which is simplified Chinese characters and traditional Chinese characters. Just like their names, traditional Chinese characters can be understood as standard Chinese characters that have been passed down and evolved over thousands of years according to government regulations. Simplified Chinese characters are the simplifications of some traditional Chinese characters for the convenience of recognition and writing, and they were established as the standard characters during the language and character reforms of the 1950s, attaining the same legal status as traditional characters and being promoted nationwide. We can illustrate this issue more vividly through a few pictures. Please take a look. China has 34 provinces. In 33 of these provinces, both simplified and traditional Chinese characters are standard. In this province, traditional Chinese characters are standard, and simplified characters are not legally recognized.
Why is it like this? Why do Chinese people have so many rules?
You again, smart guy. Such a professional question. Please study Chinese history from 1912 to 1949 and then take a look at political news, and you will understand why. Alright, buddies, let's take a look at this chart, which lists the simplified Chinese characters, totaling about 2,000. It means that out of the tens of thousands of Chinese characters that have been passed down for thousands of years, only these 2,000 have been simplified. These simplified characters are commonly used in daily life now.
Can I understand that if I know these 2,000 Chinese characters, I can write Chinese without obstacles?
You are always the unique smart guy. The answer is yes. You are correct. Now let's see the visual differences between simplified and traditional Chinese characters. Level 1. They seem similar, right? Level 2. They seem a bit more complex. Level 3. How do you feel now? Which one do you want to write? Your call. So, the purpose of designating simplified characters as standard and promoting their use is because they are simple and convenient for everyone to learn and use. An important fact about simplified and traditional Chinese characters is that not all simplified characters were created during the character reforms of the 1950s. Some simplified characters have historical origins. The main distinction between them and traditional characters lies in their historical development. Traditional characters have long been the officially mandated standard character, while some simplified characters emerged as popular variants among the public due to their simpler and more efficient writing style. For instance, this porcelain was manufactured during the Ming Dynasty over 500 years ago. Looking at the character on it, it means manufacture or production. This character is the standard simplified Chinese character in use today. However, during that era, the standard character for this word was different. It was this one. So, for the sake of convenience and simplicity, people chose to use this character, which, over 500 years, has become the standard simplified character we use today. Furthermore, let us see this. Over the past 2,000 years, the Japanese have been studying in China. The writing of a specific character in Japan is as follows. According to my theory, when the Japanese learned this character, they found the official standard character too challenging. I mean this one. Hence, they brought the simplified folk version back to Japan. Yes, this one it is. From then on, the Japanese used this one. Nowadays, they were unaware that the standard Chinese character had always been this one. Moreover, some simplified characters were created during the character reforms of the 1950s. For example, although these characters were created in 1952, they were not created out of thin air but were derived from calligraphic styles, like this. The standard character for this word has been this for thousands of years. Similarly, over the course of thousands of years, some people wrote this character differently in certain calligraphy works. In these calligraphic works, the writing appeared bold and free, with the crucial characteristic of using fewer strokes. Thus, redesigning these styles into more standardized forms led to the development of simplified characters. Now, the way this character was written in those calligraphy works has become the standard simplified character used by people. In fact, Chinese characters have evolved for thousands of years, and there are more than tens of thousands of them. Among these characters, there are completely identical characters that just look different. Throughout history, new characters have been constantly created, and completely identical but visually different characters have also been created. We may not be able to explain these historical issues of Chinese characters in minutes, so, if given the opportunity, I think we should have a dedicated video to discuss this. Well, this is the Chinese characters all about. Now, let's take a look at how these Chinese characters are connected to the Chinese language we speak, and how they have documented China's thousands of years of history. Just like before, we will use English as a comparison. For example, if we want to write the sentence, I want to drink some water, on a piece of paper. Firstly, we know that English has 26 letters, and words are spelled with these letters. This sentence has 6 words, I want to drink some water. For example, the word water is spelled with the letters W-A-T-E-R. So, we write out these 6 words, I want to drink some water. Of course, the rule in English is capitalize the first letter and leave a space between words. Therefore, we write the sentence on paper as I want to drink some water. Now, let's see what this sentence looks like in Chinese.
我想 喝水。
Now, the complete sentence.
我想喝水。
We write this sentence on paper. Is it supposed to be like this?
Yeah, capitalize the first letter and leave a space between words. It's good. I mean, to me.
Okay, it's roughly like this, but we need to make some adjustments. Like this, we don't have capitalization in Chinese, and there is no need for spaces between characters. Just like this, a sentence is recorded. So, you see, the Chinese you speak or want to speak, after each syllable corresponds to a character being written down, it becomes this. This is how Chinese characters record the Chinese language. Unlike English, which uses 26 letters to form different words and then records what you say with those words, Chinese directly records what you say with each individual character. So, Chinese characters are very important. Keep close to these characters. I mean to say,
Keep your friends close, and your enemies closer.
Can we say that each Chinese character is composed of several parts, just like each word in English is spelled with letters?
well, I think we can say that, by now. Let's look at these Chinese characters. It seems that each character is composed of these. These smallest units are called strokes, and there should be these. If we say that Chinese characters are composed of strokes, then we will say that English words are spelled with these. Because writing not only records the content of language expression, but also records the pronunciation of language. For example, I want to drink some water. Not only records the content expressed by this sentence, but also records how this sentence should be spoken by the speaker. From this perspective, these words obviously are the smallest units that record the content and the pronunciation of this sentence. Let's look at this again.
我想喝水。
Whether it's recording the content of language or the pronunciation of language, these characters are the smallest units. So, we say Chinese characters are the smallest units that record Chinese.
Well, since we can't spell Chinese characters with letters, do we have to memorize each character one by one? There are tens of thousands of these characters, each one like a masterpiece by Van Gogh.
Nope, it's not Van Gogh. It is,
Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci.
Are you pulling my leg here?
well, if we follow your theory, then every Chinese person should be like this. Behold,
Buddy, how many characters can you read?
More than 5,000.
Wow, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, just so. After all, I got a 500 gigabytes hard drive. And you?
Well, you know, there's a 2 terabytes hard drive growing on my head. So,
How many? God damn it.
it's 20,500.
Jesus Christ. It's amazing.
since you have these concerns and confusion, I think we should give you some bright guidance. In the next episode, we will eliminate everyone's doubts. Let me tell you in advance, Chinese characters do have rules, although they are not spelled with ABCs. See you in the next episode.